So yeah.
So what do you think about? Hey, you shot that reaction video where you were talking about. Who was the guy that posted that video where he was asking the question like, "What would you change in the game?"
Ben Kennedy.
Ben Kennedy. So Ben Kennedy shot the video that wanted to know like, what would you change in the game? Not add something new, but what would you change in the game? And my take from that, and then you shot a reaction video to it. So then I shot a reaction to your reaction, and my thought process was watching your video was that most people were pissed off about the practice deal. Right?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, but I mean, most people were pissed off about the practice deal. But in my opinion, if they want to go out there and practice 9 times real quick. They want to be able to go out there by themselves. Hey, you watch me and Denner out there by ourselves, where it's just us, and we know each other. I'll take the shot and try out every ball that I have in my inventory and time out, and then he'll go out there and do the same thing and time out. And then we'll go, which shot do we want to do? And then we're like, okay, we're going to take this shot. And sometimes we'll time out again. And then by the time we actually take the shot, we know exactly what kind of spin we want, where we want to start, how low we are to the hole. Everything's perfect. And then whoever goes first goes, okay, I'm going to add on 10%. And then the ball was a little bit left or right of the cup. And then the next person's going to be able to adjust for it. And after one time through, we got the hole down.
Yeah.
And these people want to be able to go out there and practice by themselves. That means, fuck that. I mean, that's basically what we would allow them to do if they went out and practiced by themselves.
I personally miss the old days where if you're willing to play fucking DGen and play 5 accounts, right? You had an advantage over the fucker that had 1 account. And I've never apologized for that. Like, sorry, dude, I just happened to get to look at it 5 times.
No, and the whole deal there is that you should be able to practice during the practice round. So they announced the tournament came out, the practice is available. We can practice for 2 or 3 days, and then the tournament starts, and when the qualification round starts, you're fucking done practicing. If you want to practice, you have a second account. You can play that, or you tank Monday's qualifying round and just go out there and practice. And get some time on the course, you know.
That's exactly how I am. Like I'm like.
I think the whole because we're not thinking of the person that's out there that will go. This is what they'll do. They'll go in and they'll play the hole until they make it twice. Then they'll go play the hole in the tournament. Then they'll go practice the hole until they make it twice. Then they'll go play the hole in the tournament.
It's not so relevant in rookie. But like if you look at like expert and pro, especially master especially, these guys are making so much money off their guides. Like, do you realize that if you look at Tommy's Patreon, he's got 2,000 fucking Patreons. That if you look at his pricing structure, they're probably averaging a minimum of $20 a sub, if not $30 a sub. Like if you look at this, he's making $30 on 2,000 people a month.
Right, that's 2,000. That's with a zero. That's 20,000 times
40,000.
That's 60,000.
40,000 a month.
40,000. Well, I can tell you that when Tommy first started playing, I mean, I've told you this before. When he first started playing, he worked at an insurance agent's office, and he was the guy at the front desk.
No, I was there at the time when he was doing that.
And he had just gotten divorced from his wife, and he got custody of his little girl, and he was living in an apartment somewhere, a flat somewhere, and that was when he started. That's what he was. But I can guarantee you, he moved out of that flat, and he's got a place now, and he's all set up.
If you think about it, even if he's paying taxes,
and I mean, he would be over there.
Something extra, Dan won't tell me what he's getting paid to be part of Tommy's shot team, right? So, and it's funny because I don't think it's much. You know what I mean? Like, I know people on Tommy's shot stream, and none of the funny thing is that when you sign with Tommy, you sign a non-disclosure agreement, right?
Yeah.
So they can't tell me, but I don't think they're making to be part of that team and what that guy would expect from me, you know, for like a couple $100 a month. Nah, come on, man. You know, sure, you supply me with practice tokens or whatever, but fuck off. Whatever.
So somebody came into my bracket. I'm looking at my opening bracket. And somebody came in with a minus 16 that hasn't started playing there. It could have been better. But right now, he hasn't started playing yet, and he came in with a minus 17 in the or a 16 in the qualifier. And the guy that's in second came in with a... Wow, is that it? Oh, he's played some of the... No, he came in with a No, he came in with a 16 as well. Quesadilla. Marie came in with a 13.
Is that... that's rookie bracket?
Yeah, somebody shot a 16 in that. And a bunch of us were at 13. I'm not sure what separates...
If you can figure out the two...
Appleby?
Like, let's be realistic. In rookie, there's one makeable par 3, maybe. I don't know. And 2 par 4s. And there's actually one Albie. So I can see a 16. I can see a 16.
Yeah, and I got lucky too. I got a 0 on 7, and I picked up the Albie on 6. So I dropped one off a minimum score. I actually dropped 2 off a minimum score, and then I picked 2 up.
Well, it's funny because I
got back to 12. So I'm at minus 12 there. So I just shot the minimum score.
I shot 2 pars in expert, like atrocious pars. One, I had 3 shots at it, and all 3 times I forgot to fucking power slice. I hit it perfect every time. I'm live on stream, by the way, so like, why would you fuck around? You know.
Hey,
and then I had another one. I shot a minus 10 and 9. Right. I'm going. Oh fuck. I'm in expert 1. Right. Right now, leading expert 1, which I realize there's only been like 30 people finished, but it's minus 22. So I'm to shoot his fucking golf class par, and I'm probably going to catch him. So, or he was at 10, 12. Sorry, so 24. So I have to shoot a 14. So I need 2 drops, but whatever. I'm going to qualify. That's all that matters, right? So, fuck it. I say.
Hey, so let me ask you a question here. So,
yeah,
one of the things that was on that video that guy shot was like things that are already in the game that they could make better. So when you go into a ball, like these new conch balls that are for sale, the conch shell ball,
yeah,
when you click on power, it shows you a little thing and it says simple firm core. This is a firm core ball here, right? It's got +3 distance and +1 over power needle stability. When you skip down there to where it says side spin 4, and you click on side spin 4, it just says 80% lateral control. Well, wouldn't it be cool if you had one that said 80% lateral control and 1 lateral stability or assist, so that like if this was a ball that had top spin boost, because you know how it works, you have a ball that has top spin boost, you can't get any side spin on.
Yeah.
Even if your ball has side spin, like a top spin side spin ball.
You're saying like, okay, let's say I'm using a ball that's got 5 side spin.
5 side spin.
And I'm using an APOC 6. Yeah. Let's just go. No, APOC 8. Let's just fuck Thor's Hammer 7. So we got like full top spin.
Yep.
So what you're saying is they should put out a ball that says like, okay.
Yeah, let's say.
Not only are you going to get your 1, but you're playing like a side spin 3 ball, right? So I'm going to get top spin boost on my Thor's Hammer, but at the same time, you're going to let me move over like another full spin.
No, hold on. Hear me.
I could buy that. I could buy that.
Let me make sure we're on the same page, because I think we are. So let's set all the parameters here. I have a 5 power ball.
Yeah.
And that ball has 4 top spin boost. It has top spin boost on it.
Yeah.
And why it does this, I have no idea, but it has 5 side spin. In that type of ball, you're either going to be using all 4 of the top spin or all 5 of the side spin, because there's not much in between. Like if you run the topspin boost on your Thor's hammer that you were talking about, your level 7 Thor's hammer that's got 100, or a big topper has 100 topspin, and you run out that 4, you ain't getting any side spin at all. But if you had that ball would give you 1 on either side as part of the traits of that ball, because that ball.
So either extra spin, topper, or north, south, east, west.
No, I would just do the side spin. So that's all you're buffing. It's just the side spin if you have that ball. So like it would be a Nirvana. It would be a Navigator Plus, a Navigator Plus ball instead of just a regular Navigator. A Navigator Plus gives you, it gives you something. A 0.1 on something. Wouldn't it be nice to get a fucking really big control ball where it says, like for the wind, or one of the deals that's on there is this ball gives you 0.2 ball guide? Because think about all of the times you're out there with your Guardian or your Goliath and it has 3.9, but man, if it had 4.1 and it was on the other side of 4, now it can flatten out and you got the same kind of ball guide that somebody's got with a sniper, right?
Don't you give these motherfuckers ideas.
No. The whole deal is, dude, is that like there's ways that they could make the game better and monetize the game at the same time. But my fear is that they would keep the way that they're doing it, and they would do other shit as opposed to going, hey, we could make the game better all the way around. I'm sure the people at the top want to practice. That's the thing. The people that are spending the most amount of money want to be able to go in there and practice by themselves. And if you're out there practicing and you spend a practice token and you're actually just out there and you're like hitting the shot, you don't know what you're doing and you're just out there hitting the shot instead of taking your time, hopefully your opponent will go, hey, cool, I got somebody who's practicing. And they'll look at their shot.
You go off about that on your videos all the time.
I mean, why? Hey, if we're gonna practice, folks, if you see somebody out there doing that, stop, practice.
Don't try to make the shot. Let
go
me
out
try
there and look at it yourself and make sure you got all of your shit written down and all of your stuff right and exactly how you're going to do it. And then let your opponent go out there, and if they take the shot, then you can take the shot. Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of stuff they could add to balls and do. Kyle says that he'd like to see them do a putter stability where like you can have some way of upgrading your putter so that you can hit the hole on any green, even if it's overpowered. Like, I mean, it might be an overpowered putt, but you can at least get to the hole.
But nobody would ever buy that ball because.
No, I think he was thinking more of like maybe a whole new club mechanic, but I think they should have grips and gloves. Where like if you're wearing a pair of gloves, like you decided that on this hole you wore a glove on this hole, and if you wear that glove, then that glove gives you +5 power and +1 side spin that and it gives you a little, it could give you a multitude of different things if you wear a glove. A lot of people buy them gloves.
I guess. I don't know.
They'd want them on every hole, but
I'm still stuck in the ball thing. Like,
I think the grips though and shafts you should be able to earn just like you do your club cards. So like if you have like a set of steel shafts, or you got a set of fiber or
but what do
carbon fiber
here's
shafts.
The problem though. So what do they do with an 8-pocket? Or do they just add like a 4th tier?
Well, I think
back.
I swear, and I don't know if you felt the same way looking at some of these holes, but I could swear that there's a lot of the older holes that feel shorter to me. That like I realized that I didn't have as good clubs back then, but even when I brought out bigger balls and tried stuff back then, it always seemed like it was a long fucking ways. But now it's like It seems like they've shortened up some of the holes, because I can remember at least one hole in the game that I play a certain shot on that, and I can't play that shot anymore because I'm in a different club. And it's like I was never in my long iron. I was always in my wood. And why am I in my long iron now?
I think they've shortened some, and I think they've lengthened some, to be totally honest with you.
Well, the deal
I think what they did is they moved the tees as well. They moved the hole and they moved the tees, and they didn't tell us.
I like it can go either way, but I think that a lot of the holes that they've come out with, at least in the last year or so, like are they should make holes that the only way you can play them, like they should make them very, very tough. Like the only way you're gonna have any kind of easiness on this hole is if you bring out a 5 power topspin boost ball. Even if it's a
Yeah,
headwind,
but they would.
even if it's a headwind day, because like you're gonna get farther out there.
People with shit.
No, I think having the game be tougher and making us have to work harder at it would be more fun than going out there and shooting 34 every week. Because the whole deal about the adjustments is all a fucking manipulated deal. So if you think about how wind works, if there was zero wind, there was no wind on a hole, none, and you went out there and you lined it up with your club and you hit it perfect, there's no other place for it to go but in the hole. So the only thing that could have affected the hole would be some other number. And I can tell you that number is not a constant, because you can look at a hole that's downhill and you almost immediately assume that you're going to have to add on wind, but yet you can look at a shot where you're shooting at what's obviously uphill and you still may add on wind. You may not do anything. You may take some off, but it's not consistent, right? Do you think it's consistent?
No, I agree.
I mean, all of the numbers, like the game used to be where if you pulled out the wind and you hit perfect, you had a really good shot of it going in the hole. But I think that too many people up at the top really started using the wind ring method, and it got to the point where everybody was shooting 34s, 35s, 36s. That what they did was they added in, like they're not going to go in there and change 1,000 numbers. They're going to put one number that's in there and say everything's off by 0.95.
No, they could have, right? So we just have to adjust for it. That's all. Like that's the whole thing about the practices. Adjust for it, motherfucker.
No, but the deal is that it doesn't stay the same from one tournament to the next. I swear, a couple tournaments ago we played. What did we play? We played the fjords, the Nordic fjords course.
Yeah.
And they had changed the pins. And the new pin placement on 2 of the par 3s I can think of, like the adjustment that we were making on there was like 60%. And we're shooting to the same exact green.
Which was 20%.
Which was 20% every time we've ever played it before with the last pin placement. And so
I actually agree with you with that one, because I noticed that.
So that's a prime example of that they can go out there, and me and Hank have had this conversation, that the reason that you get that little update for the weekend round on Friday night at midnight or Saturday morning when you open up your device, you get that little update, is it's changing the number. And it's like everything's not going to be off, 9.8%. It's going to be off fucking 7.65.
Yeah.
And then it changes the deal.
You could be onto something there. Maybe.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
No, the whole deal about the win stuff is all them manipulating the game. So it would be better if they wanted to play that game. If that's how they wanted to do it, that's fine. But make the holes tougher. Make it so that we have to work really hard. There's some holes in this game that you have to work. That course, it originally started its lifetime in Tour 9 as well. It was the 2017 Christmas. It's like City Park.
Yeah.
That course right there. I think that course has 2 par 5s that are birdie holes with an eagle opportunity.
There.
And if you work really, really hard and you bring out really, really big stuff on exactly the right wind day, you might be able to give yourself an opportunity for Alvey.
There's another old hole, and I haven't seen it in tour playing an old course. I can't remember what it's called. And it used to drive me nuts because you'd always play the second shot. You and Hank actually drove me nuts. You'd play the second shot, you just set it up right by the pin, and then you power curl it. It's a brutal par 5 that it's basically like an eagle hole, right? or sorry, birdie hole with the eagle opportunity. Like that's not Southern Pines. I can't remember what the fuck that course is called, but you know.
No, and I think I know which hole you're talking about. You have to hit it over. I think I know which hole you're talking about.
You would basically you'd go like a big power spin shot to get it up into the middle fairway, or you'd lay it up and then you'd do stupid shit and try whatever. It's a fucking dumb hole. It's the most, when you're playing it in tour play, it's the most boring fucking hole in tour play. Because you basically just leave it up, get it close, putt it in for fucking birdie. And your opponent's going to do the same thing, so, but whatever.
Yeah, but there's some of those, I know that one of the, and me and you talked about this hole one time, because I had mentioned in a video, I was talking about, I love playing this hole with a Guardian, because I've played it so many times with a Guardian and a Marlin, that like, it doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing. With a Guardian and a Marlin, I can just do the shot with my eyes closed. It's like bam, bam. They're two like setup shots.
Yeah.
I played this hole so many times, but if I bring out a bigger ball, like a Kingmaker, it puts me in a much better spot, but I'm so fucked. The only time I ever take that shot's in tournaments. And so I actually have done better over the years just taking the shot with the Marlin.
No, there's times
and
where
a Guardian,
like,
and just doing the max overpower hook shot.
Like there's a lot of times in, like, if they ever put what's that old course called? It starts with an M. Malibu, not Malibu. Milano. If they ever put Milano in a turn, like again, like I am still going to play shots from the front tees with Marlins, and I'm still going to play shots from the second tees with fucking Navigators, because I played them so many fucking times. Change the pin locations on me, I don't really care, but my drives are all going to be the same.
Well, here's something that I've said for many years that they could do to change the game, and it's not really a change, it's just an expansion on what we already have. Why do we not have 18-hole golf courses? Why? Okay, so I understand in the very beginning, like I might be on hole number 1 and you might be on hole number 10, but because the winds were stable through it, like we would always, we could get matched up and it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's part of why they don't show your score, because you might have been on hole number 10 and I might have been on hole number 1. But now we have variable wind. So when I'm on hole number 1, my opponent is on hole number 1, even if it's a replay. And so because of that dynamic, they could easily have 18 holes, and you got to play 18 holes. And so instead of coming out with a brand new course, why doesn't the Oasis come out with the back 9?
So why, but here's the question, what do you do for qualifying? You just have 9 for qualifying, and then it could play a different 18 for...
Like my experience in the real world is that the front 9 is much easier than the back 9. And so like you qualify on the front 9, and then during the week you play on the, and see, this is we got all brand new pin placements, right? And they could mix it up. They could mix it up in the tournaments. Dunner's idea has always been that we should be mixing these tournaments up, even if we're playing them just like we are right now. Like this opening round, we're playing on the Oasis number 2, but on the weekend round, we're switching to the number 1 tees, and those take totally different shots.
What? I didn't know that.
No. I'm saying that's not the way it is. I'm saying that's the way it should be. Like, wouldn't that be...
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right? I mean, that mixes it up. Like, that means that, like, and you got to look at it from their perspective. If they're looking at practice tokens as how they make money, those guys are going to have to practice their asses off in between rounds, right? If they're going to keep it like it is.
Yeah, it'd be huge for Playdemic.
Yeah, right? And we would dig it.
Yeah.
That'd be good for everybody.
Old schoolers.
That's a winner chicken.
I mean, you're more old school than I am. You still got the calculator out, but...
Well, I have the app, and I got the app, I think, like within a week of when the app came out originally. Yeah. And I think over the years, because I've changed devices and stuff, over the years I've paid for it, like several times. Like for whatever reason, right? But I've just bought it again. But because I have a bunch of different Google accounts, and I'm not sure like which one. And But there are a couple clubs that I hit different than the numbers that are in the deal. And what's funny about it is that I have success with those clubs, and Dunner has success with the same club, and he uses the app.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me. Yeah.
Usually we're pretty close. Like if I do the numbers by hand and he does the numbers on the app, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
What's your app? You have an app that you're doing.
Yeah,
but is it available at the App Store? Can we get it, or like what's the deal?
No, because I'm trying. It's strictly. It's a Python app, so it's strictly. Excuse me. It's strictly Linux based right now, but I'm teaching myself Flutter, which is a different, and Dart. So I can
what
put
language?
it onto,
what are the languages you're teaching yourself?
Flutter and Dart. Flutter is going to be the UI, which is cross-platform across web, desktop, iOS, and Android.
Yeah.
This is why I'm doing this, so I can build one app and hopefully it works across everything. And Dart's just the back-end language to it. So, it shouldn't be too hard for me to switch my algorithm over to Dart. The big thing is going to be me learning Flutter to make it so you guys can use it. Like it's pretty cool. I could actually put up like a web app, but the problem is that when you're using a mouse and a keyboard, it's slower than literally tapping on a tablet. Like it just is. It's like your eyes have to focus different. Everything's different. Anyway. The app is extremely accurate, though. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, Gordon. I'm very excited.
How are you doing the algorithm? Who wrote the algorithm stuff?
Mang Dynasty. He used to post on Reddit about, like, I don't even know, years and years and years and years ago. Years ago. But he was literally considered the guru of everything. And basically, Golf Clash Notebook and the other one, I can't remember what it's called right now, even though I have it, they were based off his math. So I went back into the old Reddit records, found his algorithm, or his numbers, didn't find his algorithm, but I found his numbers, used his numbers to create the algorithm, and here I am. Same fucking motherfucking thing that Golf Clash Notebook and whatever that other one is, because his numbers were spot on.
I've got to kill a fucking grid, dude. That grid?
Yeah, I'm like just about to. I'm going to attempt to jailbreak my iPad on Sunday.
The grid that I have, the code that I wrote for my grid is like I could go through there and fucking clean it up as far as like if somebody wanted to go in and manipulate it. But I've put a lot of fucking comment codes in there, and I have pretty good.
Good.
I need to make a little GUI for it, so it's got a little graphical user interface that you can go in there and fucking do the shit instead of having to change the numbers in the code itself.
Is this on Android or iOS?
Android.
Android, yeah.
And I've updated it several times, and people ask me for the code, and I send them the code.
Yeah. So, is it using what the hell's the name of that program? Or is it an actual app, or are you using what the hell is that thing called? Matrix or no, not Matrix?
It's Material Q, and Material Q
Material Q, yeah. Yeah, I used to use that all the time when I had my Samsung. Great program.
Well, the deal is Material Q causes some issues with Google, and Google, they were like a total lockdown, and then Google changed their stuff. But the deal is that if you've got Material Q open, there's certain things that Google won't let you access because you have Material Q on. And so it's overdoing the screen, and they don't want somebody to be able to get into that section if they were overdoing your screen. So you have to turn it off. But it was before where you couldn't do anything. You turned it on, and you were done. You had to fucking go in and turn the thing off, and it was a pain in the ass to get it off. But you're done.
Really?
And so you couldn't run it over anything. And that went on for a couple months, and then I think enough people bitched, and they changed the rule, and so now it's blocked out of certain areas, but now it works with the game. The other program that I have problems with working with the game is the recorder that I use, the screen recorder.
Yeah, but you've been using that forever.
Yeah, but they have problems with that as well because most screen recorders don't come with an overlay, and this one does, and the overlay is the pen. And so they don't like that. They don't like how that works. But Material Q is definitely the way to go. The way to roll. Material Q. If you got an Android, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm all Apple right now, but it could change shortly. We never know.
So, what do you think about as far as like? What were the other things that were on that guy's video that people were bitching about? They were bitching about practice. We talked about practice. We talked a little bit about money. What else were they bitching about?
The one that surprised me, because every single person that was in that video was a master player, right? You know.
You're right. They're playing. Me. They're whales. But, they're spending anywhere between $400 and $800 a month.
Yeah. So what they were bitching about was the ability for people to tank a tournament to go to a lower level term, like in expert and pro. Like they were like, once you reach level 3, you're always at level 3, and I'm like, well, I got a level 3 expert.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Extra mile 5, bitch.
And hold on a second. Let me set the stage here. So I didn't understand to begin with. It was. They were talking about, like, were they talking about trophy dumping, or were they talking about, they were talking about people that were, like, playing at a lower level than what they were, or people that were, I'm not sure, what were they talking about?
I think what they were talking about was the fact that a guy would win an expert 2, right?
So they're an expert tier 2. And
so they would win an expert tier 2.
Tier 2.
And then what they would do is they would just suck the next couple tournaments so that they got back to, because they would move them up into expert tier 3, right?
Yeah.
Then they would dump a couple tournaments and then just play expert tier 2 and win it again. And they're saying that the prizes should be more disproportionate. Like that there should be, like, they were saying, like, if you win a pro level 2, it's the same prize as a whatever expert 3 top 10 or something, like, whatever. I can't remember exactly what they're saying, but they're saying, like, there should be a bigger difference in prizes is what they were getting at, to make people keep playing higher levels to get the bigger prizes, I guess. I don't know.
Well, let's think about how that works. Let's go look in the tournament here. Hold on. So we're going into the tourney in the Summer Shores. Now, what was the deal?
That people were basically losing tournaments.
Yeah, but there was
they could be in a lower level in the next. Like, what I don't understand is, so what do you do? So you play.
But it was all about prizes, because they're saying that
it's all about prize.
They're saying so if you're in the top, if you're number 1 in rookie, you win 30 Kingmakers and 50 Berserkers. You get 1,100 clan points, 300 in coins. You get 40 epics. You get 40 rares, and you get 130 of random, and it could be who knows what, and it could be an epic. You usually get 2 epics, right? So if you come in, but hold on a second. If you drop down to just 5th place, you get a top 5. You only get 91 instead of 130. You only get 33 instead of 40 golds. You only get 8 instead of 40 epics.
Yeah,
you get 10 instead of 30 Kingmakers and 15 instead of 50 Berserkers. So, I mean, the drop between 1st and 5th right there is pretty steep. And what they're saying is that if you were, instead of playing in rookie, you were playing in another division, that the fifth place guy isn't getting as good a shit as he would get if he was playing rookie and got first.
Exactly. No, they're going the opposite way. They're saying the guy that got first in rookie is getting more than the guy in pro. And it shouldn't be that way. That pro should always get more than rookie.
Well, I mean, I won in a pro 9-hole cup the other day, and I'm not exactly sure. I know you get less prizes, but it didn't seem like I got that much.
No, you didn't actually. I watched your chest opening. It wasn't.
It wasn't
spectacular.
Much. Right. I mean, now this is a full tournament, and I think that these numbers personally are shit, even in rookie. Like I know that if you're up in pro, like you get cards a lot faster and stuff, but even in rookie, like playing in a fucking tournament, think about how many people are in a tournament. You start off, there's 10 brackets, there's 20 brackets or 10 brackets of 20 people. And they split that up, right? So it starts off with 200 people. And we get 100 fools that play the game. But on the other side of the fence, there was the same thing. So it starts off with 400 people. So if you win a tournament, you beat 400 people. If everybody started off was in your bracket, you beat 400 people to win. And you get 40 fucking rares or epics for winning that tournament. That to me, I know that it's a rookie tournament and you're only going to get epics up to tour 3, but 40 doesn't seem like a lot.
I was laughing too the other day. I was thinking about rookie tournaments, and it only goes up to 2 or 3, but you can get all my favorite clubs in rookie tournament. Like you can get big toppers, you can get Goliaths.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
if you look at clubs,
you can get hammerheads. You get there's your rare big toppers and hammerheads. Like, think about it. Like
you get big topper. So I mean, like my level 7 big topper in 77 has 338 of 400. I mean, it's almost level 8. And I have been working on it, and I've gotten a lot of cards in tournaments where like that was the epic I got in that tournament, and I ended up getting 20 of them or something.
Yeah.
And was able to work it up. So you get big toppers, Horizons. Horizons a great club. When you need a long hitting club that's got topspin, if you're doing a rough bump, that is
especially early, like before you get like a sniper 9 or a sniper 10, and even sometimes then the sniper doesn't do it right, especially in rookie. So Horizon's a great club, man. You get
Horizon. I'm looking at the stats right here on a Horizon, and Horizon's got. When it gets to level 7, it's got 45 accuracy, so it's the same accuracy as an extra mile. So I mean, at that point, it's not. It's like playing with a Goliath. Instead of 1.9, it's 2.1. So I mean, it's not that bad of a club, and it gets more accurate when it gets to level 8. But you get lots of Horizons. Big dog.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about lower level. Like if you're lower level clubs, like that's a killer club because of the ball guys.
So if we had to go out, and only play with a one tier 1, 2, or 3, tour 1, 2, or 3 club. So like for your driver, it's the Rocket, the Extra Mile, or the Big Topper. And I have to say that it depends on the level, because like if I had a level 8 Big Topper, it hits 232. Versus 237, so it doesn't quite hit as far as the Extra Mile, but it has 15 more topspin.
It depends on what tour we're playing, like what tees we're playing. At T1,
which you couldn't go wrong with the Extra Mile.
Big. It's big. It's a big topper 2+ all the way, and it's not even close. If I have a big topper 2 and an Extra Mile 5, I'm playing the big topper 2 from the front tees every fucking time.
Yeah. I played a lot with my big topper, especially back in the days when we only had one bag. And I would just go out and play with my big topper. Okay, let's look at wood. So with a wood, you got your choices are Horizon, Viper, and Big Dog. I mean, I think it really depends on the level, but I know I played for a lot of the game when I first started playing with a Horizon. I mean, I played with a Horizon for a long time. I think I played with a Hammerhead when I first got it. There's a couple levels in there where it was kind of good. But once I got to my Guardian Sniper combo, I played my Guardian a lot, but lower level, I played with the Horizon and not the Big Dog, because it always seemed like it had it wasn't as far hitting, but it had more stuff. I got to go with the Horizon.
It's got to be, once again, this is first tier, second tier, and what clubs or what tour we're playing.
Well, I mean, let's see what that wood has. No, like I mean, if you had to, if we went back to the old days where you had to have one bag, you could only have one bag when you went out there. I'll tell you a way that I think that they could make the game fun again, is that when you go sign up for a tournament and you pay your entry fee, you have to declare a bag that you're going to play for that round. You can change bags between rounds, but on these holes that you're playing in the tournament, you can only play with those clubs. So you might have those 2 holes in the game that, like, the only club that will get you there is a Goliath. And if you have a Goliath, you can go for the shot. But a Goliath sucks on 4 of the other holes. So
Goliath never sucks on any hole.
Do you take a Grizzly or whatever other club you were playing as your and find another way to play those 2 holes?
Never.
Or
never.
You'd bring the Goliath every time.
I would play Goliath I would play Goliath 3 over Grizzly 7. I honestly would. I just trust that club so much. It's one of them stupid things, but I just trust. I'm not saying that the Goliath 3, well, maybe not a Grizzly 7. That would never happen anyway, so I don't never have to make that decision. But a Goliath 6, over a Grizzly 6, absolutely. Especially a Grizzly, because you're probably going to have a Grizzly 8 by the time you have a Goliath 8 before you have a Grizzly 6. Fuck. Not even a fucking competition.
Well, I'm looking at the Horizon right here, and at level 1, so like if you just opened it up and you just got your Horizon for the very first time, it's 170 power versus 179 when it gets maxed. And accuracy is 0 versus 45 when it gets to level 7, 65 at 8. Top spin, it has 74 top spin right out of the gate. Has no backspin. And if you bring out a Horizon, you're not bringing it out for the backspin.
No. But
so that number doesn't really matter.
Stat that matters. Here's the stat that matters.
And
what's the stat?
And so then it's got 40 curl right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. And,
no, the next stat.
And
this is the one that matters.
And it has 3.1 ball guide when it's at
3.1 out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
Yep.
Okay, I mean that's why, like, when you get the Horizon, like, that should be you'll probably, I mean, shit, what else would you have? You'd start using that. But when you can get it to like level 3 or 4, level 4 is where you really want to get it, and because it's a low level epic, you'll get a lot of them. You'll be able to get it to level 4 pretty quick. It's getting it to levels above that take forever. But at level 4, it picks up 3 yards, 12 accuracy, and I actually like the 0 accuracy better because it's just 3 per ring.
It's 3 per ring, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy math, right? Right, versus 2.7. And then it's 94 top spin instead of 74, so it gets 20 top spin, 94 top spin now. 11 backspin, which is still a non-number. 64 curl instead of 40, and it's 4.1 ball guide. Now we're
that's where it gets sick.
Now it's smoking. So like everything above that, and I actually do think that the accuracy was better when it was just at 0. It was easier to move. I gotta go. I'd have to go with the fucking.
Hey, bud. Well, listen, I have to go.
Yeah,
because I have to go chase my cats, and Jennifer.
Yeah, we talked.
Yeah.
You were chasing your cats when you started this conversation.
No, I'm still chasing them. I've been doing it the whole time we've been talking.
I got you.
We're just, do you know what? They're having so much fun outside, and I don't mind it because they're good cats. So, hey, whatever. Keep the pussy happy, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, buddy, I got to go. I'll talk to you later, my friend. Good talk.
Bye.
Excellent. Bye.
There you have it. We stopped at Long Irons. Next time I talk to him, we'll move along. Move along, little doggy. Actually, I'll give you some bonus content, and I'll go through the last ones here. I got to go with the Kingfisher. I mean, there'll be times when you get your stuff up that you may switch to a Thorn or a Hornet, and you'll try out other clubs. But there's a bunch at the early part of the game, and then at the end, when you start to get your clubs developed, that the Kingfisher is really a great club. It is lacking in a few areas. It doesn't have distance. It doesn't have topspin. It's got great ball guide. And the accuracy stuff, it plays at 1.1, like really, really, really good. Even though the Hornet's at 100% accurate, that Hornet at 100% accurate is not right. Kingfisher, got to go with it. Wedge, man, if it was the first three, I got to go with the Firefly. I played with a Firefly for a long time when the game first started. So when the game first started, I learned a valuable lesson. I was taught a valuable lesson one day about how to run topspin. So I went and looked in my inventory, and I had very low clubs. I'd only been playing, I think I was in like 2 or 3, and I'd only been, like, I had nothing. But I did have a Firefly open. It was level 1. And I think even at level 1, it has ball guide and topspin, and that's all you're looking for. So, you know, in your wedge, if you've got ball guide and topspin, you can run it out just like people can with an upper developed rapier or really high developed inbringer. You can run your topspin out and do it. It's just not that accurate. So it gets accuracy as it goes along. So when it's lower level, it might have like 15% accurate, and it is where like shots that with an upper developed rapier, you might be able to hit great left or right and it'll go in. With a Firefly, when it's lower developed, you got to hit it perfect, but you can run it out and do the same shot. You just have to hit it perfect and it'll go in the hole. It plays the same. So I mean, I gotta go. I actually went through the route and went Firefly and was here. I tried out a few things. I tried out the inbringer. I think I tried out the skewers. Probably I tried it out the most, because the commons are great utility clubs. They can do a little bit of everything, and they're jack of all trades. But once I got to the rapier, then that was it. Once I got my rapier to like level 3 and started getting where it was better than the Firefly that I had. And the deal is the Firefly will never get, it's all about the accuracy. It will never get as good as the rapier. Although it does have, it will get better ball guide. I will say that. I will. Rough iron, it's got to be. Rough iron, rough cutter. We got to see. There's 112 is the rough cutter, 123 is the junglist, and 101 is the machete. So I mean, we gotta select the junglist, and then we've got to see what its stats are. So I mean, let's compare it to the king. So 123 versus 135, that's the longest hitting in the top 3 is the junglist, and that's only if it's up in level. Accuracy. So it's not a bad club right there. It just hits 12 yards, and 12 yards is a shit ton. It does have more topspin than Nirvana though, so you can make some of that loss up in topspin. Probably most of it in this case, because it's 19 topspin. So you might actually get farther with the junglist. Not quite as good a ball guide. But if you were up close and personal, you could probably still run your topspin just like you do on your Nirvana or on your rapier, and you can do on your Nirvana, where you can run your topspin out. You could do the same thing here because it's got those same stats. Let's compare it against a rough cutter. Rough cutter's definitely lacking in and that's a maxed out rough cutter. The concern for me here, I'm not even seeing any of these things down here. This is all optical illusion. Like, this shit doesn't exist to me. We went from 135 with a Nirvana to 123 with the junglist, but the junglist has 19 more topspin than the Nirvana, and so we might be able to make it up. So these clubs are on par with each other. And this club actually has a couple other tools, even though its ball guide's not as good. It has a couple other tools that make it where it's good. But here, we're at 112. So we're already walking into this party 23 yards short of where we need to be, versus maybe on the same playing field. And this one has about the same topspin as my Nirvana. I think my Nirvana had 60. This one's got 65, but it has definitely less than the 79, and it hits 11 yards shorter than the other one. So we're definitely not interested. 12, 22, 32, 23? Is that 23? Yeah, 23. Yeah, that's big. That's huge. There's no way I'm playing with a rough cutter. Now, a machete, even though it hits even worse, the only thing it has going for it is it's got backspin. So, I mean, that's the only thing the machete has. There's a period of time when you first start playing where the machete might be okay in distance, like it might be marginal, but it's got backspin, and what you really need when you first start on some of these clubs is a backspin club. Then it might not be bad, but I got to play that with in this case, I got to play it with a junglist. But I think in most people's cases, it's probably going to be the rough cutter. But it really doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you, whether the accuracy, the topspin, the backspin, the curl, or the ball guide, or anything, if this hit that much farther than the rest. I mean, you know, it's going to have something in these areas. It's going to end up being like the Amazon, where even when the Amazon gets upper developed, even when the Amazon gets upper developed, it still doesn't have ball guide. So I mean, it's not a bad club. And when you get it upper, you know, its accuracy's 100, topspin's 100, backspin's 100, everything's 100 except for ball guide's what, 3? So it might not be bad if you could actually get a tail on this, where you can actually see your backspin tail, but I don't think a 3 ball guide will get you there. So you're never really going to bring it out. But I have played with the Amazon on several occasions, on several holes that I can think of, where I wasn't concerned about any of the rest of this shit. All I wanted was 135, and that was before I really got my Nirvana up to the point, because I don't think it starts off at 135. I think it like ends at 135. It picks up its last distance towards the end of its life, either in its last level. And now we got the full meal. The full meal deal. I don't think there's a better. The off-roader, when it gets to level 8, is the only contender. So when it gets to level 8 and it picks up the rest of that topspin, then it's got the topspin. I think it has the boost in topspin. Let's change that out. I don't want to walk around with a junglist on. It could be bad. Junglist. We're going to change that off for the Nirvana. Spitfire is unfortunately not in the top 3. I can tell you when a Castaway gets upper developed, it's not a bad club. But like, once again, like, I'm focused, like, there is some shit written down here, but I can't see what any of this is, because I'm like looking at this top line. Because for me, like, sand wedges and wedges are about getting you out of trouble and getting you to the green so that you can get minimum score and either go to the shootout or go to the next hole and try and set it up. Otherwise, you wouldn't have brought this out. Now, there are a few holes where, like, hitting in the sand is like, that might be part of the deal. Like, the odds are you're not going to make it over, but the worst case scenario is you're in the sand and you're chipping it out and you're just going for the deal. So in that situation, there's several key things on sand wedges that I'm looking for. I want the same stats that I want on a wedge. I want lots of topspin. I want lots of ball guide. And because their primary function is to getting us out of fairway traps, we want to make sure they're distance. And I mean, the Spitfire has got all 3. That's like right from, it doesn't take it very long before it starts getting good numbers. I think it's like level 3 or level 4, and it's like you would never play another because of this topspin and this ball guide. I mean, like the rest of the numbers, like you may use your Spitfire every now and then for backspin, but it only usually has like 1 or 2, or if any. But the backspin on a Spitfire works really, really well. It's very effective. It's a very high bounce. And so it tends to come to a stop very quickly because it loses a lot of its energy instead of doing a forward bounce. It comes in real steep. The accuracy is great when it gets to 100, but I think it starts off pretty good. But if we have lower developed clubs, we got 108 versus 120. We got 96 versus 120. We got 109, and that's the Malibu, so we got to go with the Malibu. Malibu starts off pretty good. The Malibu's got what it doesn't have that we're looking for is topspin. But if you're doing the straight up shot and trying to shoot at it, then it has what you want, because it's got good ball guide fairly early in the game. I think it's pretty accurate fairly early in the game. So it has the things that you're looking for. Your curl is great as a recovery club. This is a great one to have. And having a little bit of backspin, and this has got more than the it's got more than the Spitfire. So we got to go Malibu. So what would our bag look like? We'll come down and pick so we decided that we were going to take a Jungleist. Let's see what bag I'm in bag number 2, bag number 3. We're taking the Dale Appleby said Big Tapa. Big Tapa. Hey. The Big Tapa. We got a Horizon. Goliath. I think we got to take the Kingfisher. And I play with the Kingfisher, so that's good. The Wedge. In this situation, I got to play with a Firefly. And in this situation, I got to play with my Jungleist. And in this situation, I got to play with the Malibu. I think the Malibu, like, really, when you compare them, it's like there's not even a comparison. Like, it hits farther. It hits farther, and the Castaway doesn't quite have enough topspin here to really run it. Either does the Desert Storm, I think. No, the Desert Storm's got lots of topspin. The problem with it is it doesn't have enough ball guide to really represent that topspin properly, and it hits 13 yards shorter. It's already bad enough at 109 versus 120, so you've already lost 11 yards, and I haven't picked up any topspin, so there's a lot of times where you're at max Spitfire. That might not be a bad club. 108, loss of 1 yard, a little more topspin, more backspin, more curl, less ball guide, definitely more backspin. And it's got enough ball guide, it might be able to represent. I still got to go to Malibu. All right, Malibu, there's our bag. That's what we're saying is our, unless you had level 8s, then you definitely have to go with some, you definitely have to go with some different clubs. All right, thanks for watching.